Will Dave Dombrowski make any moves, or will he stay put? So let's talk about it. What is going on, everybody? So with the free agency period already underway for all 30 MLB teams, aiming the Phillies included, and kind of the biggest questions, a lot of Phillies fans are probably wondering, what's the plan for 2025? And, there's some kind of negative criticisms with Dave Dombrowski, which we'll talk about in just a bit in this video. But Dave, so for his first 2 to 3 years here in Philadelphia, has not been spectacular, to say the least. I mean, the fact that this man decides to really settle for second-rate hand-me-down players instead of trying to add, important free agents to help this team to finally win a championship since 2008. And it's been way too fucking long for this team to actually do anything. And part of the reason why is that, which a lot of Phillies fans still don't have confidence in this franchise, is the fact that they're running back with the same coaching staff that they've had the last couple of years. Topper at the top, leading the squad. Let's be real, which I know has mixed reactions with a lot of the Phillies fan base. The fact that Topper has a tendency to mismanage the bullpen, decides to throw away games, which should never be thrown away, figuratively speaking. And then you move on to Kevin Long, who originally, good pickup for him, for this franchise. But now, as we saw his kind of hitting philosophy, it really ruined what this team, was doing down the stretch, even going to the postseason, which the bats kind of went cold, and like it did last year against the team like the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, at the time of this recording, Dave Dombrowski so far for the 2025 free agency has been flat. And for those wondering, what do you mean by that? I mean, picking up guys like an injury-prone Jordan Romano for the back end of the bullpen on the one-year deal. And then also signed maybe a major league catcher, maybe just a regular backup on a minor league deal, and you're probably going to have him start in AAA Lehigh Valley. Honestly, doesn't really inspire, a World Series, some World Series moves, so to speak. And really looking at how Dave so far this free agency has been passive-aggressive. And, case in point, he's whiffed on 3 key free agents so far. Guys like Juan Soto, which, like I said, that'll be a video in its own right in another day on my thoughts on that. But in terms of the pitching, on the other hand, talk about, fumbling the bag to get Crochet here in Philadelphia. That never happened. The fact that then the Boston Red Sox decide to swoop in and take Crochet from right under your noses, just the fact that, and yeah, I mean, it's just kind of, Boston kind of did the same exact thing when they acquired Chris Sale with, giving up a crap ton of prospects. And then now, as of recently, Kyle Tucker now getting traded to Chicago for a guy like Hayden Wesneski, Isaac Paredes, and third baseman Cam Smith. The fact that it took, 3 above average type of players just to get Kyle Tucker, you couldn't, and I'm sorry, but the Phillies couldn't really match that. I'm sorry, but Dave, honestly, to me, I think the clock's ticking for Dave and his time here, because I don't know what his plan is here in the city of Philadelphia, because when you look at these other 29 other teams trying to make moves, try to get better, and then you just got the Phillies just staying pat. Basically, if you put this in NFL comparison, think of the Dallas Cowboys. You got Dave Dombrowski, added like Jerry Jones to, too stingy not to really add, any more star players to this roster. Which, by the way, I don't know if anybody's, saw, I mean, he did say in one interview, I think after, at the start of the offseason, saying pretty much, we don't need to add more star players. which kind of indicated to me where this team was going to go in 2025. And the fact that we're running back with the same coaching staff, and in the same roster, not really much change in there. Bringing back a guy like Garrett Stubbs, who, is probably a nice guy, but when we look at it from a player perspective, not the greatest, and has not really done diddly squat. If you look at it from his offensive numbers, and for him maybe in the backup, it's not the greatest, but I would expect to have a guy like a Rafael Marchand to come up and be the full-time, not say be a full-time backup, but at least be a solid backup to the point where if JT does retire, you also you'll let Marchand now have the full-time catching duties for over 162 games. Just because, JT's not getting younger. I'm not going to say his production is going to be declining, but over time you'll see JT's production decline. And obviously as he ages, he's probably not going to be the same pitcher as he once was. And when you look at this pitching staff, led by Wheeler and Nola, which is a good 1-2. Sanchez at the 3, Suarez 4, and which looking like Andrew Payton at the 5. Pending if he's, make sure he's actually good to go for the 2025 season. Which, when you look at that starting 5, projecting with Painter being the number 5 starter in the rotation, it's a really nice rotation. Now, where my issue lies with that rotation is the fact that can Ranger actually, not get tired too easy? Because number one, the dude looked like he was still dealing, I don't know, with like a back injury or a hip injury, because his velocity was down a few ticks, the location wasn't there, command wasn't there. Like, the dude just doesn't look like he was the same throughout the second half. And seeing how this team operates, to me, doesn't really inspire confidence. And I know a lot of Phillies fans, in particular, are not going to be excited of how this team is going to operate. And I'm pretty sure at this point in time, if somehow the Phillies fail again, Bryce Harper's going to find a way to say something. B, if I'm John Middleton, I'm putting the countdown to Kevin Long, Dave Dombrowski in particular is your biggest countdown, because I don't know what his mindset is going into 2025. At best, I think this team could win at least 90 to a plus 100 games. But the fact that we're running back with the same crew, the only very slight changes, not the greatest changes, like I said, was pick up Jordan Romano to be the closer, which, as for those who have seen the last couple of years, we've done closer by committee, which to be honest, I fucking hate that. I really hate that. Because, Estevez wasn't too bad. He's kind of, now with Hoffman maybe on the move, but I still think the Phillies are going to try to, if I'm Dombrowski, I will nut up and shut up and figure out a way to retain Hoffman, who has been, let's be real, the last couple of years has been very good, has been very solid, with Alvarado, Kerkering, when you look at that bullpen from front to back, it's not bad. I would say at best, maybe top 10, maybe side. If everybody stays healthy, I think this could be a top 5. This Phillies bullpen could be top 5, easy. But the problem that I see is we have guys at times have a bit of injury history, guys like Jose, and stuff like that. And obviously, the Phillies botching the whole Bohm situation, which looked disgusting in its own right. And then you have now with a report coming out with but Stott dealing with a sore elbow, which may become explain why his production was down, especially from the offensive side of the baseball. There was a lot of issues that really held the Phillies back for reaching the World Series again this year. But now seeing what Dave pretty much said before at the start of the offseason, saying, we don't need any more star players, which, like I said, it really indicated where this team is going to be standing going into 2025. Because to be honestly, I don't think there is a plan to get better for 2025. Whether you have, the Braves are going to get fully healthy. You got the Mets now going to be competing. Now you got the up-and-coming Washington Nationals, for crying out loud, are going to be competing. And that really worries me. I'm sorry, but that really does worry me slightly, too, as a Phillies fan. Because there's no way in hell that this team, with the amount of talent that they have, continues to underperform, like they do in the last few years. Something's got to give. Anyways, like I said, clock's ticking for Dave Dombrowski. Because to be honest, I kind of want him fired at this point. Because Dave has really shown year in, year out, not wanted to like I said, improve, add more star talent to this roster. If you want, because I don't think he's really I think he's content to not win a fucking championship. To be quite honestly, that is really bad to look at if you're a Phillies fan. And I know a lot of other fan bases are kind of laughing at that because, in a way, we deserve to get laughed at because, A, we ain't doing the right necessary moves to improve what we need, which is another center fielder, probably starter if Painter is not ready to go by opening day, at least have him down the minors to get some, work in, and stuff like that. I don't know. I really do think this season could also be another disaster again for the Phils. And at some point, if I'm Middleton, change is going to have to be made at the end of the day. But what are you guys' thoughts so far with the Phils? And do you guys think that there's a plan for them? Because for me, I don't think there is. Let me know what your thoughts in the comments down below. And that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.